Welcome back, everybody, to another shocking Courtroom episode of Lockdown 23-1. That's right, today's definitely going to be a shocker for the Boston Red Sox fans out there, man. I'm sorry to bring this one your way, because a former pitcher from that team has just been found guilty for unspeakable crimes. And he's already been sentenced. I'll break all that down here in 1 second. Not to mention witness him in the courtroom as well. But as always, before we get into all that, if you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my beautifully assorted playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, traveling back a year to 2024. It says former Boston Red Sox pitcher Austin Maddox was arrested in Florida as part of an underage sex sting. Maddox was one of 27 people arrested as part of a multi-agency operation. They are accused of soliciting sex over the internet from people who they believed were children. James Hill, defense attorney for Maddox, said he intends to fight the allegations against him and will enter a plea of not guilty should formal charges be filed. Of course, he says that. They all do. It says Maddox, 33, began communicating with an undercover agent pretending to be an underage girl on April 28th. He expressed his intent to have sex with the girl even after she told him that she was only 14. Maddox agreed to meet the girl at a prearranged location, where he was arrested by law enforcement officers, authorities said. He was charged with 4 felony counts, including traveling to meet after using a computer to solicit a child. He's being held in jail on a $300,000 bond, and keep in mind this is the first article speaking on the situation. Like I said, he's already been sentenced, so I'll give you that update here in a second, not to mention, like I said, witness him in the courtroom, but this article continues saying, Maddox played college ball for the University of Florida and was drafted by the Boston Red Sox in 2012. He made his major league debut with the team in 2017 after several years in the minors. He spent about 3 months on the Red Sox roster before heading back to the minors to recover from a shoulder injury. He was released from the team in 2019. Now let's jump into this article that was just written a couple days ago that gives us a little update. It says former Boston Red Sox pitcher Austin Maddox has been sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to charges stemming from an underage sex sting. Maddox, 34, pleaded guilty, I believe that's what we're going to see him do in the courtroom today, to meeting a minor to do unlawful acts and unlawful use of a two-way communications device. And as part of a plea deal, Florida prosecutors dismissed a charge of soliciting a child via computer. Maddox will get credit for 501 days that he's already served in jail. He was also sentenced to 5 years of sex offender probation upon his release. Now this is the thing, I looked him up on the Florida Department of Corrections website, and this is all I could find. I can't find no updated charges. Everything is from 2022 it looks like, but I believe he was on probation for these crimes as he committed the new ones. Don't quote me on that, but either way, this is an updated photo of him, and it doesn't really have no release date or nothing. It says scheduled termination date 11/6/2028, but this is supervised population information detail, and it's current as of 9/7/2025, so it's pretty much updated. I wonder when his other crimes are gonna pop up. So that was kind of weird to me, but either way, all you Boston Red Sox fans, look, go ahead and grab your doilies. This could be a tearjerker for some of y'all Maddox fans out there.
All right, sir, go ahead, please, and tell us your full name for the record.
Austin B. Maddox.
All right, sir, thank you. The court is in receipt well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through the main part of the plea with you first, and then we'll discuss the supplement secondarily, okay? Sir, the court is in receipt of a document entitled Plea of Guilty with Negotiated Sentence and Sex Offender Probation. Have you reviewed this document with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'm going to show you the back page of this document. On the line above where it says defendant, where my finger is right there, is that your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, does that signature there mean that you have read, understood, and are in agreement with the contents of this document?
Yes, it does.
All right, sir. Is it your understanding that today you are entering pleas of guilty to counts 1 and 3 that have been filed against you by information in case number 2024 CF 4475, specifically count 1, traveling to meet a minor to do unlawful acts, which is a second-degree felony, and count 3, unlawful use of a two-way communications device which is a third-degree felony. Are those the charges that you are pleading guilty to today?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, have you had sufficient time to discuss the facts of your case with your lawyer? Are you satisfied with your lawyer's advice and representation of you?
I am.
Sir, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol or any medication that would inhibit your ability to understand what I am saying or what is going on in court today?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone threatened you or tried to coerce you in any way in order to get you to enter your plea of guilty today?
No, ma'am.
All right.
This guy right here, when he makes it to prison, or not even in prison, it could happen in county. There's 3 things that's going to make him a target, 100%. 1, he's a child predator. 2, he's a former Major League Baseball player. Inmates are going to say he probably has some money. And number 3, look at this tattoo. Even though I've seen quite a bit of people with it in prison, the Confederate flag that is, I've seen a lot of people actually get into some serious situations behind it in prison. You know, a lot of people down south, of course, look at it as more along the lines of a heritage thing. Their family was probably a Confederate, right? But to many others, it just looks like racism. So if I were to guess, I wouldn't go all in on the bet, but I'd wager a hefty amount that we might read an article later on down the road that this guy's been attacked in a cell block, almost guaranteed, unless they put him somewhere special. But from what I hear about Florida, man, it could be a toss-up. This dude could have an easy ride or he might not make it out alive. Just my 2 cents. Now let's henceforth.
And this form indicates here on the front that you are entering this plea of guilty today because you believe that it is in your best interest to do so. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that by entering this plea of guilty today to these 2 charges, that you are giving up certain constitutional rights that you have, specifically including the right to go to a jury trial, where the state of Florida would have to prove each and every element of each charge beyond a reasonable doubt? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. There are 3 warning paragraphs that are contained here on the back page of this document, actually page 4 of this document. The first one deals with involuntary civil commitment under the Jimmy Rice Act. The second one deals with immigration consequences of your plea of guilty. And the third one deals with a driver's license suspension. Have you reviewed and discussed those with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Ms. Russell, is the state aware of any DNA evidence in this case that would exonerate Mr. Maddox?
No, so the state and the state.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I do wish we had this sentencing, but we have to make do with what we have and realize the things that's going on around us. I'm here to tell you, look, there was 27, I believe, other people arrested during this sting. One of them was a nurse that worked at the hospital, still in their scrubs, going to meet, I believe, don't quote me on this, an 8-year-old. And then they found another guy. He's a janitor that works in a public school. And of course, a former Major League Baseball player. Look, preachers and all kinds of individuals get caught up in these stings. One thing I want y'all to get from this is anybody is capable of becoming a monster. And they definitely could have their sights on your child, so be well aware at all times. But coming from an ex-con, one of the few things that I thoroughly enjoy that officers do is these type of stings. Keep on doing that, man. Get these filthy creatures off the streets. But I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I got the dryer downstairs knocking the wall. And I gotta go handle some of my freedom activities. Detailing the scatty, pressure treating the edges on my yard. That's right, man. I know y'all never heard that one before. But until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you're new to the channel and enjoy, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and stay free.